Hey, beautiful people. Namaste. And I'm really excited to make this live today. I've got a love story to tell you, and it's a really powerful sharing. I don't have a script. I'm just going to share from the heart, speak from the heart, and share with you an experience that I've been through in the last couple of weeks that has been incredibly powerful, incredibly heart-opening, and has really taught me something more deeply about the nature of existence, excuse me, the nature of unconditional love, which is what we really are, and the potential that is there for all of us in terms of how we relate to one another as men and women, as human beings, as souls, the potential that's there for us as we move through these really potent times of awakening and ascension and step forward into co-creating the new earth. It all starts and ends with us. You know, everything that is there is a creation from our own inner space. And, you know, we're here to stand as sovereign beings in that recognition. And I, just for those of you who might be watching this at some point who don't know who I am, my name is Shakti Sundari. I'm a priestess of love and sacred sexuality, and I'm devoted to teaching Tantra, embodied awakening, and being a pillar of light and love in the world at this time. So this live is called a love story, and I am going to share with you a love story, although it might not be what you expect, but hey, you never know, but it is beautiful. I'm devoted to living as the embodiment of love, to unifying my masculine and feminine aspects within my own being, to unifying all that I am with source consciousness. For me, that's what the tantric path and my priestess path are all about. And as the unique human being that I am, I have a deep longing in my heart to be in a deep tantric, conscious and committed relationship with a beautiful man who is my equal, my divine complement and counterpart. I've held that longing in my heart for a very long time. I've got a cough, hold on. And, you know, I really have this vision of journeying together in life with this partner, of co-creating events and workshops with this partner, of living and traveling together with this partner. And my vision for this relationship is for it to be a making of love. Making love physically, for sure, you know, in the physical realms. And as we make love sexually, creating more love. But also to be this relationship that I envisage for myself is a relationship that brings more love through into the world. Because of our mutual and individual commitment to love, to truth, and to consciousness. And then in the combined alchemy and merger of that, as we evolve, as we grow, as we heal, as we obviously meet whatever arises within ourselves in the crucible of that loving relationship, so then we bring more love through into the world. That is my vision for myself. That is what I'm calling in. Don't know why, but I've got a really strong tickle in my throat. Hold on a sec. And so, a couple of weeks ago, I went to an ecstatic dance event here in London. Dance is one of my, if not my greatest passion in life. I teach and have been teaching conscious dance for almost 20 years now. It's just such a huge joy and passion of mine. Embodiment, embodied awakening, dance are just, yeah, my idea of heaven. So I was at this ecstatic dance event, and as part of that beautiful event hosted by Seth and Dee, we take cacao, we drink cacao. There's an opening ceremony where we drink cacao, which is a heart opening plant medicine, right? And we, you know, connect in, we meditate before taking the cacao and set an intention. And as I sat with my cacao that night, I set the intention, which is usually very similar, but it was like, may I embody love. May I embody sacred union. May my masculine and feminine be fully unified within my own body and being. And may I magnetize to me this true divine complement, this tantric conscious relationship that I can so strongly feel and envisage. So that was my core intention for that dance, and I drank to that. And then went off to dance, fully in my element, fully in my flow, being myself, not giving. Obviously, when I dance, I'm not thinking, I'm not in my head, I am just energy, body, love, flowing, music, spirit, one. That's me. And in that dance, a beautiful man came up to me, put his hands in prayer pose, and asked to dance in that way, because we don't talk on the dance floor. Everything is said with the body. And I said yes. It's very rare to be asked to dance, for me to be asked to dance on the dance floor, particularly by a man, and particularly in such a way. Obviously, I teach and hold space for conscious dance events myself. What I notice when I go as a participant is how difficult it is to connect with others, how closed many people are. So for me, this was a beautiful gift to be invited to dance, and then to step into a dance with a man who held my gaze, eye-to-eye contact, soul-to-soul contact, heart-to-heart contact, and who continued to hold my gaze for I don't know how long that dance was. And we just kept dropping in deeper and deeper and deeper together. Eye contact, soul contact, no body contact, but energetic contact for sure. And I kept being amazed, because this is a very, very rare experience for me to have. To be met in the dance, to be met energetically, to be met in eye contact, to feel a presence equal to and opposite to mine, able to keep meeting. It's very, very rare. This is a tantric experience. And I reveled in it. I absolutely reveled in it. And I just kept deepening into it. We both kept deepening into it more and more and more. And I was blown away. And then I needed a break, and I went off to dance on my own. Didn't think about it anymore. But at some point in that evening, again, he called me to dance with him. And we danced again, and it went a level deeper. We ended up in a tantric embrace. No words, just pure, instinctual, soulful, heartful. For me, this was very heart-based, not sex-based. I felt a huge heart opening. I felt a huge soul communion. I felt met very deeply and profoundly. It was the most beautiful thing. After the dance, we immediately connected. We immediately were kind of hugging and cuddling and embracing, because that's just what felt the most natural thing to do. There was no thought in that. It just happened. It felt natural. It felt easy. It felt safe. It felt beautiful. It just felt organically to be together. Honestly, if I look back now, there was no thought to it, but I felt like there was love there, actually. Love and attraction, and just a really comfortable, soulful being together. We arranged to meet. We met, and about a week and a half later, and went on a date. It was beautiful. Again, I felt met, engaged, laughed, connected, spoke truth authentically. Again, that beautiful, completely relaxed, easy movement of the bodies to be close together. And again, I'm not meaning sexually, I'm just meaning in terms of cuddling, holding, stroking hands. It just was beautiful. And in that meeting, both of us shared what we were seeking. And as it turned out, what we were seeking wasn't aligned. So despite this alignment of heart and soul and body and desire, for sure, then desire was also stirred. There wasn't an alignment of where we are in our lives and what we were seeking in communion with the other. I felt really sad about that, yet it was also beautiful. We continued with the evening, and the evening ended with some kissing. And actually, I'm not going to shrug at that. I don't know why I shrugged. For me, kissing is a really intimate, meaningful way of moving closer to another. And it's not something I take lightly. I don't kiss people unless I'm seriously interested in dating them. So there were kisses, there was passion, there was appreciation expressed, desire expressed, and there was a difficulty pulling apart, but I was very clear. I can't go any deeper into this calling to be together physically, energetically, because we're wanting different things, and I'm not available for casual sex. I'm not available, for anything casual. It's just not what I'm here for. I'm here for a deep, committed, monogamous relationship. And so we parted. A couple of days later, we met. We'd arranged to meet again, actually, because it seemed like the attraction was nonetheless so powerful. We wanted to explore it. And the day before our next date, we met. We knew we were going to meet at the same conscious dance event that we'd met at 2 weeks ago. I was so happy to see him. It was so beautiful. We danced together. It was beautiful. Communion, again, joy, expression, freedom, playfulness, seeing and being seen. And then I happened to notice out of the corner of my eye that he was in communion with another woman on the dance floor. I didn't think too much of it because, I know or could see that his nature is to connect. I'm also very open. I love connecting on the dance floor with others in a deep and true way. I don't really enjoy fake or superficial connection. I love deep, true meetings. It doesn't mean it's sexual. I just love to meet soul to soul and heart to heart with other beings. And I continued with my dance, and I wasn't tracking him or following him because I was in my own experience, but then I did happen to notice him with the same person again, and began to wonder if something was happening there. And it happened again, and then, the reality of that landed in my heart and in my body, and to be honest with you, my heart just plummeted to the ground, and my energy had been so ecstatic, my energy just went boom, right to the ground. I felt really hurt. Hurt because even though we had, come to understand that we were in different places, we had actually ended up being intimate. We had kissed and expressed desire and affection for one another and agreed to meet again. So I felt hurt, and I let myself feel that hurt, and I continued and ended my dance. And we ended up sharing some words, not nasty, not aggressive, not anything, just me basically showing, like it was probably all over my face, my feeling of hurt and disappointment and frustration. So I let that show. I didn't really need to say anything at all. But we did have a short communication, and that was that. And so I left that Saturday night, just 2 weeks after the day that we'd met, feeling hurt, feeling sad, feeling frustrated, and heavy-hearted. Luckily, I had a really good friend with me, and I was able to talk to him. That really helped. And then the following day, you know, those feelings were still very, very alive for me. Hurt, heaviness, frustration, some anger. And the anger wasn't really that dominant, but yeah, there was some anger. Self-pity, hopelessness, all of these things, they all came. And then I entered into a process with these things. And this is kind of, for anyone who's watching and listening, I really want you to be with me through this, because it takes us through to the next part, and it's so important. So basically, I teach embodied awakening. I teach Tantra, the path of inner union. I'm a priestess of love and sacred sexuality. This is what I'm devoted to. I'm preparing to teach a workshop on the 26th of March, so not long from now, a tantric temple workshop where these kinds of things are what we look at, are what we explore. You know, what happens when I meet a man I'm attracted to? What happens when my heart opens? What are the fears that come up for me? What gets in the way of love? What gets in the way of seeing and being seen, right? So this is directly related to my work and my being in the world. Sunday, literally the Sunday just gone, today is Tuesday, I felt all of these feelings within me, within my body. It didn't feel good. It felt painful. It felt heavy. I would have loved not to have to feel those feelings, because of course every emotion has a sensation or sensations that go with it, right? And this is part of what I teach my clients. If we go to the pure sensation in the physical body of that emotion, and we welcome it, and we make space for it, and we allow it, and we stay out of the head, this experience can be processed and alchemized and healed and moved through, leading to a new place. So that is what I did. I felt it all as sensation in my body. I allowed it all as sensation in my body, uncomfortable as it was. I went for a walk, I spoke with a friend, and I meditated for hours. And in my meditation practice, which is also a tantric meditation practice, and this particular practice is a practice I've learned and practice still with Fleur, Inanna, and Lisa Sophia. So in this meditation practice, I allow everything that I'm feeling, everything I'm thinking, everything I'm imagining, everything I'm sensing to be. And I also access stillness or source consciousness in parallel to that. And without teaching you the whole process, in very simple terms, I allow myself to encounter that experience that was so painful, or the person who triggered that experience that was so painful at the time, in my inner space. And then I meet every feeling and sensation that arises within my physical body and merge it with source consciousness or pure stillness. It's a process, it's a practice, right? I did that for hours. and also connected in, again, with my deep desire for tantric conscious relationship. And I also connected in with the will of the divine. Most of Sunday and Monday morning. By Monday night, by Sunday night, after all that meditation, the ache had dissipated. So kind of from this, it was right down to this. From this to this, it had almost gone. There was just a tiny ache left in the center of my heart. And by the end of Sunday evening, I'd also arrived quite spontaneously, not looking for it, not wanting to make it come, gratitude. Oh my God, I was in a place of gratitude. Gratitude to him for the gift of having the experience of being met by a man I find really fucking physically attractive, because that's been incredibly rare in my life. I've only had that experience probably once. And this guy, I fancied the pants off, and he met me, and I love being with him. All of those things lined up, fucking hell amazing. I felt gratitude to have had that experience and to be shown that that's actually what I want in the relationship I'm calling in. I felt grateful to him for the way in which he did meet me when he did meet me. I felt grateful to him for the laughter, the joy, the fun, the communion, the heart connection. And my heart and my soul just said to me, tell him this, let him know. So without thinking about it, again, no calculation, no intention to manipulate, no desire for a response or no expectation of anything, I left him a voice message and expressed my gratitude, the truth of my heart, the journey my heart had been on. And because I had processed so fully and come to a deep place of peace and bliss within myself, my communication was very clear, very compassionate, very peaceful, and absolutely devoid of any accusation or blame or judgment, right? Because I wasn't in that place, because I had integrated that experience with him. I had actually integrated him into my inner experience. So there was nothing left. Whatever charge or trigger had been there was completely resolved. Because I know that I am the source of my own creation, right? So yesterday I had a response. So he sent me a long voice message in response to mine. And it was so beautiful. It was clear. It was compassionate. It was honoring. It was appreciating me for my qualities. And it made me laugh. And as I listened to that message, I just laughed, and my heart opened even more to him. And I felt love for him as well as for me. Not love that wants something, not love that wants to get, not love that is needy, not love that is expecting, just pure, unconditional love for him on his journey. I'm going to get emotional now. For him on his journey, for him as a soul, for him in his beauty, for him in his showing up in his soul's truth. Such love I felt, and I still feel. And my heart was just blown wide open. And then I realized, when I had drunk that cacao 2 weeks ago and set the intention to embody love, to unify my masculine and feminine, to call in a divine tantric relationship, and a relationship in which we make love, not just sex, I mean in a relationship where we generate more love to share with the world because it's just pouring out of us. That's the relationship I want to be in. I realized that's exactly what had happened. Yes, we haven't ended up together in a committed relationship, but my heart is opened even more. I am experiencing unconditional love for myself and for him. And I've had the experience of moving through a conscious encounter with a man, all the way through every element of it. And the end result is I am experiencing and expressing and embodying more love, which is what my original intention was. And that moves me so profoundly, so deeply. I can't tell you what it's like. It's just incredible to know so much love. There's no need, there's no demand, there's no trying to change anything, there's no trying to get anyone. It's just an outpouring of pure unconditional love. And how, it's not like a technique or a step-by-step process, but how I landed in this experience is by being fully me, nothing held back, speaking my truth fully in every moment, feeling everything that came up fully with no shame, no blame, no judgment, no repression, making space for it all in this container and meeting it with stillness, with the embrace of consciousness and awareness, returning everything back to its source. The source is here, nowhere else. And in that return to source, in that return of all the energies, because emotion is just energy, sensation is just energy, in all of that returning back to source, merging with source, and my energetic field expanding, open in bliss and ecstasy. There is only love. Imagine if every encounter could be navigated this way. Imagine if every relationship was navigated this way. Imagine how different things would be in your life, in all your relationships, not just romantic ones, in your community. Because of course, for me, having moved through everything and come to this place today, just, what's today? Tuesday, so Saturday, 2 days after that feeling of hurt, I am radiating love. This love goes to my children. This love goes to my clients. This love goes to the stranger I meet on the street. This love goes to the cashier at the checkout. This love goes to you. And you see how there is then this ripple effect out. This is how, in my belief anyway, this is how we change the world. This is how we build the new earth. This is how we get to relate in truth, consciously, This is what we're all being invited to. You know, for me, this is just a really short taste and experience of it. So this is how I want to, you know, I already do that in my non-romantic, non-sexual relationships. But this is what I'm calling in terms of sexual and romantic relationship also. And this is, I am sure, just the tip of the iceberg in terms of what's possible, in terms of a revolution, an explosion of love into the world. That's what I'm here for. That's what we're here for, is love. And I know there's a load of really dark and difficult stuff going on in people's lives and out in the world right now. It breaks my heart to even tap into the edges of it. But I also know that if I can embody this and navigate relating and meeting in this way, and if we can all do that, then there simply cannot be war. There simply cannot be war. There simply cannot be conflict. There simply cannot be relationships where there's hatred and meanness and unconsciously expressed vitriol and anger and trauma being chucked at one another. Because I'm fully responsible for my experience and nobody else is. I'm fully responsible for all of it. And when I'm willing to take full responsibility and meet whatever arises for me, right? Whatever arises, it's my responsibility. I process it. I meet it. I feel it. I return it to source. What's left? There's no separation anymore. There's no blame. There's no judgment. There's no resentment. There's no, you did this to me, right? Nobody did anything to me. It's just me loving. That's what I'm here for. That's what we're here for. And that's why I was so passionate about sharing this love story today. So yeah, it's not the romantic love story that we've all been conditioned by the media and the fairy tales to expect in our lives and to want. But for me, this is like so much more than that, and the true teaching of love, of unconditional love. You know, those fairy stories and those media narratives set us up to expect fantasies, illusions. And then when we have those expectations and they're not met, that's when we begin to project our disappointment onto the other rather than dealing with our own feelings, right? So it takes radical self-responsibility, radical self-love, radical honesty, radical courage, and a capacity to be still and to feel everything. Everything, nothing's left out. It's all welcome. So, hey, namaste. I really hope that story has inspired. I keep seeing these weird shadows on my face as I move from the blinds. Has inspired, has touched, has enlivened, has reminded you in some way of who and what you really are. And thank you for watching. Namaste.